Hi guys. So I want to talk about what the classes are about, and I want to start out with some logistics that might not be clear through Eventbrite. So let me start with those. Each of the classes are 2 days long, so it's either Saturday, Sunday, or Wednesday, Thursday. They're each 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with like an optional group dinner that I would pay for afterwards at the end of the day. So if your tickets say it's for Wednesday, it's Wednesday and Thursday you should plan to be there. If your tickets say Saturday, you should plan to be there Saturday, Sunday. The total cost of a class is $1,195. So the $320 that you'd pay on Eventbrite is the deposit. So then the remaining $875 after that would have to be paid 2 weeks prior to the first day of the class. So I know that sounds like a lot too, but it's an entire business. Like I'm actually handing you like every single detail to an entire business, and it's so infinitesimally small to how much I spent in years like learning how to do everything and buying equipment, and it didn't work out and I had to buy better equipment, and so to what you can make in a living doing this, it's not that much, but I do feel like it sounds like a bit much. But so the lunch, breakfast, and 2 dinners are all included too, if you want to join for any of those. But the hotel will be on you, the travel will be on you, and just the seminar cost, again, total is $1,195, $320 through Eventbrite, and then however time-wise you want to split it up, the remaining $875 is up to you, and you just pay me how you usually do with like Venmo, Zelle, one of those. So the hotel will be the primary place where the seminar is happening. So I want it to be a very relaxed, kind of almost like a high school field trip vibe. I'd like to like hang out in comfortable clothes in the lobby where we can easily like take breaks, go up to our rooms, go get coffee. So I recommend that you try to stay at the hotel where the seminar is, so that way you can just like pop upstairs to your room if you need to go to the bathroom, like take a break, meet in the lobby, so that you're not having to drive to the hotel where it's happening every time. The hotel will either be a Hampton Inn or Home2 Suites, whichever I can find that's more affordable and still in a nice area that's next to the airport in each major city. So all of those dates and locations, the hotel location will be announced at least a month in advance of when your classes start. I still want to do some scouting out to see what I think the best hotel situation is for everybody. But so when I announce the hotel, though, I recommend trying to stay in that area. I don't go to very nice or very crappy hotels, I would say. So I like to pick somewhere in the middle. Usually the places that I stay at are like 100 to 150 a night. And like I said, like a Hampton Inn or Home2 Suites in a good area. So then let me talk about the itinerary for each day. And everything that I'm about to say is already written out in the itinerary that's screenshotted, and it's in the photos of the Eventbrite page. So this is just yapping about that for a second. The first day is only teaching. So the first day we're going to be learning about pretty much everything that I have in my brain that has to do with jewelry. So diamonds, and also this table of contents is also in the photos of the Eventbrite page. So this is going to cover diamonds, fine jewelry, gemstones, precious metals, pricing, like how to calculate what your cost is, and then like how to make a ledger. We'll go through my ledger setup and how I use it. Cleaning, so like buffing, ultrasonic cleaning, steam cleaning, the reports. What else? We'll do precious metals, business aspects like advertising, listing, marketing, sales platforms, payment platforms, record keeping, market adaptation, like global futures for gold, that type of thing, just general business tips. And then we'll end the day with like learning about photography, editing, selling, and posting online. But that is like the teaching day. So the first day is everything in my brain goes to you. The second day is going to be a little less of a group situation. So the second day we'll start out, we'll get breakfast together, and I'll go over, like I'll talk and teach about verbally like what I do in pawn shops and how that is successful for me. And then we'll go back to the hotel, and we'll break up in groups, and I'll take one person individually at a time, or a couple if it's a husband and wife or spouse situation, and I'll take both of you and we'll split up in groups, and I'll take everybody for about an hour to a pawn shop. So that I'm really excited for. So that leads me to the next portion that I really wanted to talk about, which is that I think it's really, really important to note that I'm teaching you how to run my business, not just any jewelry business. So my business is about going to big cities in the US with a lot of pawn shops, like over 100 plus per city, chains of pawn shops, and getting pre-owned antique jewelry, refurbishing it, and selling it online. So since pawn shops are a core of my business, they are what I do for business. That's why I want to do the field trips on the second day. And I think it's also I think I surprise a lot of people about how I bargain and work in person. And it's not even how I would have expected I would have done it when I started the business, but it works. And I think I really have it boiled down to a good science that usually works for me. So I want to take you in person. So then that also leads me to, I know a lot of people were interested in this, but they're like, why does it have to be in person? Why can't it be online? And 3 things. I can't figure out how for it to not be recorded. I think this is an absurdly small amount of money for how useful it is. And given how useful it is, I don't want it to be just spread everywhere online with it being intellectual property and everything. The second thing is there is I'm a really firm believer in the kinesiology of knowledge, and jewelry is a physical, tangible thing. And you need to be able to look at the diamond with your eye and with a loupe and turn it in tweezers, and you need to figure out how to use my cleaning equipment and the tweezers and this and that. It's really a hands-on thing, and you need to figure out when you go in a pawn shop, what are you looking for? What do I look for? And so I don't think you would get the best of the information that I have to offer online. And then the third thing is, it's almost a litmus test as to if you think this would be a successful business for you to run. Because if you're thinking about doing this as a business, you functionally need to be able to spend the time and money to travel to a big city. You need to save that time and the money and be able to travel. And so, again, if you can't do that, that's not to say you can't have a jewelry business, but you wouldn't gain as much, because what I'm teaching is my business. And for my business, you need to be able to save up that money and time and travel. So it's almost okay if this wouldn't work for you, because that means that what I'm going to teach you is not useful to you. So I think that's actually a good litmus test for that. It's each class is 2 days. The total for one class, which is 2 days long, is $11,195. $320 deposit on Eventbrite. And if your train or your plane or anything gets delayed and you can prove it, obviously I'll move it as credit to another class. The $320 is non-refundable if after 3 times you can't make it, because I will have held spots leading up to the 2 weeks, which other people probably will not have taken then. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think, again, it's I compulsively, obsessively make lists of everything that I know about everything that I know. And it's so much information. It is I have an entire binder filled with information, and this is only the diamonds of it. So it's it is a lot of information, and it's everything that I've learned since I started this business full time 2 years ago. And it's just, there aren't words that I can use to describe how this will propel you and just land you in a business. It's just inconceivable that if somebody were to have said to me, here, this is your information, and the time and money and life that I would have saved, not figuring it out, it's really something. So I'm hoping that some people will come and take this and say, oh, I can do that now that I know, and now that I didn't have the time to figure it out, but I do have the time to just pick up where she is and do it. So I'm really excited. I think it'll be really fun, and I'm looking forward to just hanging out with everybody in hotel lobbies, laughing and asking questions about jewelry and everything, and then going to pawn shops the next day. So